what happens when what I like is not what is good for me? There's many answers for this question, and some of them might be a little contradictory. First of all, if you like something, go ahead and do it. But as we all know, don't go overboard. Now, many times I'll have a client, I'm going to go to the extreme here, okay? Many times I'll have a client that will say to the soul while they are astral traveling, I do drugs, or I use drugs. And the soul will say something like, yes, I want to stop it. And the soul will ask, why? Because they're not good for me. But you do a lot of things that are not good for you. Why are we only focusing on one thing? And then the client will say something like what? Well, you spend all day in a job you don't like. You spend all night sleeping in the same bed next to someone you don't like. So why are we only focusing on one thing that is not good for you? So when we say this is not good for me or that's not good for me, ask yourself, where did I hear this from? And I believed it. It is true that sugar, smoking, alcohol, drugs, yes, they're not good for us. That is true. But we do so many other things for even longer periods during the day that are not good for us. Like not saying no when someone wants us to do something. Or, as I mentioned earlier, staying in a job you don't like for years and years and years and years and years. These things are much more, I don't want to say important. I think what I want to say is, let's look at everything we do that is not good for us. Not just something we heard on TV. Because all these people in these so-called normal jobs, normal families, normal situations that we would consider happy or healthy, are very miserable because they are playing a role. So they are also doing things that are not good for them. They are playing the role that someone else told them to play, and they even told them, you're going to call this happiness and you're going to call this love. And they fake it all of their lives. And then they die. And they look back and they never did what they came to do, which is simply to experience everything that Earth has to offer. It's like going to a massive theme park, let's say Disneyland, and getting on the same ride over and over and over and over again until your 3 or 4 hours are up, and then you leave the park. And your friends ask you, how was Disneyland? Well, I don't know. I was always on one ride. Why were you always on the same ride? Well, it's the one I knew best. I felt safe there. What did you think was going to happen if you tried another ride? And then we come back to Earth. And because we cannot let go of our need for approval, we fall back into the same trap many times. And we continue riding the same ride again. And in order to justify this, we call it love. In order to justify our sad, miserable, pathetic lives, we use the word love. And if anyone dares to question us about it, we will eat them alive. We'll kill them. We will ridicule them. And my favorite, we will accuse them of not having feelings, of being cold, of being emotionally dead, or of being afraid of emotions and closing their heart chakra. That's my favorite because that's the one I always hear all the time about myself. So, yes, next time you think, okay, I like sugar, but it's not good for me, ask yourself, what other things do I like that are not good for me? Because nothing can harm you more than spending 8 hours a day in a job you don't like. Absolutely nothing. There isn't a drug on earth that can harm you as much as this. Or there isn't enough sugar in Brazil to harm you as much as a job you don't like. Or, this is difficult for people to understand because they have been fed the story that this is natural. Sleeping on the same bed with another person is cancerous. Get out of there. Go and get your own bedroom. Again, as I've mentioned before, we're not talking about couples that have just met and their hormones are raging and they want to have sex 6 times an hour. We're not talking about them. Okay. That is okay. That is natural. So go and get your own bedroom so you can be healthier, happier, and live much longer. Let's see. What else is... I've gone away from the question. What happens when what I like is not what is good for me? Okay, there's another thing. You're eating chocolate. Me, for instance. Okay. I've been told by another psychic, I didn't discover this, if you like chocolate while you're eating it, enjoy it. And tell it how much you love it. Then it can never hurt you. Because there is a law in the universe that says nothing you love can hurt you. So if you're doing something that you like and you think it's not good for you, or you have been told it's not good for you, simply love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. We know coffee is not the best thing. But when it's time for my coffee, I will turn off Skype. I don't have a cell phone anymore, but I used to turn off the cell phone because it was time for my coffee. No one else exists in the world when it is time for my coffee. This way, it has never hurt me. It has never harmed me. I do the same with desserts. Sure, I'm about 3 or 4 kilos overweight, but I'm happy. And I enjoy my desserts. It would be better if I did not eat them, but I enjoy them. I love them. And as long as you love what you do, it cannot hurt you. It's a universal law. Now, please do not get stupid here and say, well, I love John, but John hurt me. It says, the law says anything you love, not anyone you love. Okay, anything. Now, what happens when what I like is not what is good for me? I would say tell it that it's good for you. Say, I love you, I enjoy you, and you're good for me. We could, if we want to, go all out and be totally healthy. We could. But you know what? Food, the way that we have it in the heavy vibrations like Earth, doesn't exist in the lighter vibrations. In the fifth dimension, we will be eating for taste, not just to survive. So we would be eating a lot less. So I would say enjoy food. Of course it helps to eat lighter foods. Like I've been a vegetarian for like 14 years almost. But I never push that on anyone else, because if someone else enjoys meat, let them do it. You might say they're killing the animals. Yes, I know. But let them do it. Let them do it until the right time comes when they don't feel like eating meat, and then we'll stop killing the animals. But enjoy what you like and focus on what else is hurting you as well. Whenever we do something we don't like, it's hurting us. And that hurts us a lot more than when we do things we do like. Again, for the person who has asked this question, I know I have gone off the path a little bit, but let's hope this answers most of your question. And I will leave it at this.